Hello students, very good morning to all of you. You are the student of MA Final of English Literature, Government College, Banswara. Although our department lacks the faculty members to impart the knowledge to you fully, even though I am only the one here and I will do my best to give the maximum of your syllabus or what I can do. We shall begin with MA Final Paper 2nd. The name of this paper, as you know very well, is Critical Theory. That is prescribed by our GGTU Banswara. That is Govind Guru Tribal University, Banswara. In this paper, you have many critics to study and to understand them. We shall begin with Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, writer, politician, a teacher, etc. So we shall begin what Aristotle has written and to which book or the work we are here concerned. So, according to our syllabus, we are concerned here with Aristotle's Poetics. That is, what are his ideas, what are his thoughts about the poetry. So, we shall go in our video lectures according to the chapters of the Poetics. But before we begin, the actual text or the explanations or the meaning or the understanding about the ideas and thoughts which are written in the Poetics, let us first have some brief knowledge or the information about life and works of Aristotle. And then we have a little introduction about the Poetics. And in the next video lecture, we shall go with the chapter wise. Although we shall not be able to go with the text, as we know that the Poetics has been written in Greek, and we don't have that. We have the translated form of the Poetics with us. So there are some of famous translations of the Poetics, and we will go with one of them. That is written by Bywater. But let's first start our lecture or our talk with life and works of Aristotle. You know, Aristotle was born at Stagirus in Macedonia in 322 BC, and he lived to 384. He was son of Nicomachus, court physician to King Amyntas II of Macedonia. At the age of 17, he started his career, that is, a 20 years residence in Athens as a member of Plato's academy. That is, he has been the disciple or the pupil of the Greek ancient great philosopher Plato. So when Plato died in 374 BC, he was succeeded as head of the academy. So Aristotle became the head of the academy that was started by Plato. In the second phase of his career, Aristotle was invited by King Philip to his capital of Pella as tutor to Alexander. That is, Aristotle has been also the tutor of Alexander the Great. That we have also information about Sikandar Mahan, Alexander Great. So Aristotle has been his teacher. Now let's go with some important works written by Aristotle. He has written 158 constitutions, including the Constitution of Athens. He has written dialogues, he has written on monarchy, written on the custom of barbarians, natural history, on the soul, rhetoric, physics, metaphysics, politics, and poetics. So these are the chief works written by Aristotle. And here we are concerned with poetics. As it is said that he wrote about 400 volumes in all. Great, large writings ever done in the ancient time. They cover every phase of human knowledge and human activity. So that is full of knowledge. His writings are full of knowledge, full of literature, full of human activity. That is basically concerned with the human being. But unfortunately, we don't have many of the volumes. That is, many of the volumes have lost. Therefore, it is supposed that he wrote a dialogue on the poet, and that the poetics, of which we have only the second part. We have only the second part of these books, the poetics or the poet. So these were the chief works written by Aristotle. Now let us see Aristotle and Plato together. Because as I told you, Aristotle has been the disciple of Plato. He has spent 20 years of his life in Plato's academy. He has been also the head of that academy. So definitely Aristotle's ideas and thoughts have been greatly influenced by Plato, the great philosopher, or the father of philosophy, we can say. So let us go with Aristotle and Plato. Plato took up the challenge of Aristotle took up the challenge of Plato at the end of Republic 10. The Republic 10 has been written by Plato, in which Plato discusses so many aspects of human life, aspects of philosophy, aspects of politics, discussing, or in the form of, it is written in the form of dialogues. He dialogues with his students or his pupils. Plato said that poetry was not only pleasant but also useful for man and society. Plato also said this, but this is in fact the view of Aristotle, because Plato did not consider the poetry so much useful for man and society. He considered that it was only for pleasant and entertainment. But Aristotle considers that poetry was not only pleasant but also useful for man and society. Aristotle never refers directly to Plato, but much of poetics, much of the ideas or thoughts of the poetics, they are just a covert reply to his great master. That is, he has replied his great master some doubts, some confusions, some ideas that he didn't accept of Plato. He replied them. We saw that Plato was the first who used the word imitation in connection with poetry. So the word imitation has been used for the first time by Plato in connection with poetry. And Aristotle followed his master. He took this word from him. But but he breathed a new life and soul into it. That is, he described imitation in a different way, different from Plato. As we see, Plato considered imitation merely mimicry or a servile copy of nature. So Plato doesn't go beyond the mimicry. He considers imitation just only mimicry. But Aristotle interpreted it as a creative process. So according to Aristotle, imitation is not only or not merely mimicry or a servile copy of nature, but it is as a creative process. He says that the poet, while imitating reality, transforms it into something new and much higher. So, what is the function of the poet while writing poetry? He imitates the reality, but while imitating the reality, he transforms it into something new and much higher. Whereas Plato says that the poetry is just only the imitation of the reality. But here Aristotle goes far. Aristotle brought the emotions within the range of imitations, whereas Plato didn't. Plato didn't consider any emotions in poetry. But Aristotle says that the function of the poetry is the emotion, that is, to arouse the emotions. So the imitation of real life that is being done by the poet or through poetry also arouse our emotions. It means that it is more than imitating reality only, but it is something new and much higher. Plato linked poetry to painting, whereas Aristotle linked it to music. So, according to Aristotle, poetry is close to music, whereas Plato connected poetry with or to painting only. And what does the painting do? The painting imitates the reality. Okay? According to Aristotle, poetry imitates not only the externals but also internal emotions and experiences. So these are the basic differences between Plato and Aristotle, between the teacher and the pupil on the view of poetry. One consider it only the imitation, whereas the other consider it more than imitations. That is, it's not only the external part, but it is also the internal emotions and experiences which are felt in the poetry, or which are the functions of the poetry. In Plato's views, poetry presents a copy of nature as it is, whereas according to Aristotle, poetry may imitate men as they are, better and worse. So, this is the basic difference. Plato says that poetry presents a copy of nature as it is, whereas Aristotle says that poetry imitate men as they are. It's okay, but it also imitate how they can become better or how they can become worse. So here the function of poetry according to Aristotle is much more. Then he says, Aristotle says, poetry is not much connected so much with what is, but with what ought to be. This is also the basic difference between the two. Plato says that poetry is what it is. It depicts what it is. Whereas Aristotle says no. Poetry depicts what it is, but it also says what ought to be, what should be, what is good, what is bad. Plato regarded emotions, as I told you, undesirable, whereas Aristotle regards them desirable. So, Aristotle stresses for the need of emotional outlets. That is, the poetry creates the emotional outlets. It arouses our feelings of laughing. We sometimes laugh, we sometimes weep, we sometimes tears down. These all are the emotions which are aroused by the poetry, and we shall discuss about all these important ideas in poetics through chapter wise in detail. In spite of the differences, both Plato and Aristotle, both of them agree on some points or some grounds. Some similarities are there. What are they? Both of them think that poetry is an imitative art. Both of them say poetry rouses emotions. And both of them say poetry gives pleasures. And both of them say that the rousing of emotions by poetry has an effect upon the whole personality of the spectator or reader. That is, the audience are definitely affected by the emotions roused by the poetry. Both of them considered poetry from a practical and utilitarian point of view. That is, what is the utility of the poetry in actual, both of them consider. Now we have little introduction today about the poetics, and by the next lecture we shall begin the poetics explanation with chapter wise. As you know, poetics must have been penned by Aristotle after he settled as a teacher and an investigator in Athens about 335 BC. It is a short treatise of 26 chapters and 45 pages. So it contains only 26 chapters, and they are very small, not so big one, and it contains only 45 pages. It doesn't seem to be a work intended for publication. That is, there was no intention of Aristotle to publish or to make the publication of the Poetics. The book, the Poetics, doesn't say much about comedy. Rather, it touches briefly on the epic, but it much tells about the tragedy, and we will see. So the renowned concept of catharsis has not been fully developed or explained in the Poetics. The concept of catharsis is the same, that is about the arousing of the emotions or purgation of the emotions. It means the purgation of the emotions, that is the refinement of the emotions that is being done by the poetry. So he has introduced this word or this idea, but he did not develop or explain it fully in this book. Therefore, the Poetics is considered as a lopsided work concerned mainly with Greek philosophers' theory of tragedy. So basically, we have the theory of tragedy in the Poetics. It can be divided into six parts. The whole book, the Poetics, can be divided into six parts. Their chapters we can divide according to the ideas. So, chapter 1 to 5 contain introductory remarks on poetry, its classification into different kinds, including comedy and tragedy, and imitation is the basic principle common to all arts, as Aristotle says. So the first five chapters contains the introductory remark on poetry. The next chapters 6 to 19 are devoted totally to tragedy, and that's why we can say that it is a treatise devoted to tragedy. It is a book written on tragedies. And from chapters 20 to 23, which are devoted to a discussion of poetic diction. So, four chapters from 20 to 23, they are mainly have a discussion of poetic diction. Then the chapter 23, that is that deals with narrative poetry and tragedy as well. And chapter 24 and 26, not the 25. Chapter 24 and 26 treats the epic in brief, and there is the comparison of epics with tragedy. That is the difference between tragedy and epic, and how it can be compared. Whereas chapter 25, the single chapter, it examines the objections of critics against poetry. That is, the critics who have raised objections, the questions against poetry, against poetics, or against the idea of poetry. Aristotle has explained and has answered all the objections raised by the critics. So, this is all for today's lecture, that we have seen little introduction about Aristotle, and then about Aristotle and Plato, what are the similarities and the differences between their ideas and thoughts, and then we have seen a little introduction of the Poetics, or that what it has, how many chapters are there, and how we can divide them according to their ideas. So basically, the Poetics, the book written by Aristotle, concerns with the tragedy. So in our next lectures or in our next talks, we shall go with the chapters, their summary or their explanations or their meanings. So for right now, thank you very much. See you